So we start here, and then we go through them chronologically until here.
You were just supposed to think about lunch.
Mario Kart, not Mario Kart. We need to decide which Mario Kart is the best before they release another one. It's been so long since Mario Kart 8 came out, and I think the best way we can do this is on a tier list, but not actually do it like a tier list because I want to make it fun and special. But are you ready?
Oh, hang on.
Okay, I'm ready.
The one that started it all, and the only one featuring Donkey Kong Jr.
What?
Super Mario Kart is definitely a starting point for the series. Emphasis on definitely. Now, Super Mario Kart is a good game. It features the fundamentals of what we see in every Mario Kart now. Multiple characters, battle mode, items, various scenery, and Donkey Kong Jr. But this game was made for multiplayer in mind before anything else because this is what it looks like with two people playing. And this is what it looks like when it's torture. The Super Nintendo didn't revolutionize multiplayer gaming right out of the gate, nor did it change on how it works, but it certainly pushed the boundaries of what was possible at the time. Now, Super Mario Kart features 20 tracks to race across, and quite a few of them start to blur together. They're all flat, which is more of a limitation of the Super Nintendo itself instead of I hate shapes sort of thing. But what really defines the experience of this game is not in the track design, it's how the game feels to play. And it's not really good. Controlling these karts itself is a battle. The handling is stiff, the turning is tight, and it sometimes feels like you're piloting a bumper car on ice. And playing this is hard to see with half of the screen being cut off for the map, which is fine, but looking at the other games, having a little mini map in the corner is a lot better than this. Even the Game Boy Advance, which this being on a similar power level to the Super Nintendo, had a little mini map in the corner. But you know that's not all the issues. The CPU has an unfair advantage over you, and this is just pure agony sometimes. And the controls, oh, they have character alright, no drifting, no blue shells, just Mode 7 graphics and vibes. The handling is stiff, the turning is tight, and it sometimes feels like you're piloting a bumper car on freshly waxed floor. But back in the day, this was mind-blowing, and now,
This is fine.
the CPU cheats, the rubber banding is insane, and if you fall behind, good luck catching up, but hey, it's still fun. Nostalgic ride if you can handle the chaos.
Grading each one of them like it's a homework assignment here. And then the first one is a grade letter B. A solid foundation, but it still has its training wheels on.
The childhood classic, the one that taught an entire generation the fear of blue shells and raging at rubber banding AI. It introduced us to the residents of Block 4 and finally Toad's Turnpike.
No! No!
Mario Kart 64 was the first to introduce fully 3D track designs giving course elevations and ramps. It was a lot easier to judge where you are on the tracks. They look so lively and different from one another now. And also with the added benefit of actually being able to use the full screen. We are so spoiled. Now I have talked about Mario Kart 64 before, so this should be easy to do if I remembered what I even said.
Well, I should have seen that one coming.
Mario Kart 64 is more along the lines of what you would see in a modern day Mario Kart. This game has nothing super crazy going on, just improving what made Mr. Rubber Banding Road Rage so good. And this is where the drifting became a real game changer. Power slide mechanic made its debut, adding a layer of skill that would become a staple in every game after that. I have no clue what the power slide is.
Okay, maybe not.
The controls are definitely better this one since Nintendo 64 has a full analog stick now.
Precision in my Mario Kart? No way!
While the controls were a massive improvement, they weren't perfect. Sometimes the drifting felt a little bit unpredictable, and without manual mini turbos like in later games, power sliding was mostly about just surviving sharp corners instead of gaining a speed advantage. This game features a total of 16 tracks, and each one is nothing short of a work of art. These tracks are some of the most iconic in the series: Bowser's Castle, Rainbow Road, Wario Stadium. Who wants to talk about the computer players?
I do.
If you thought you had a comfortable lead in front of the computer players, well, think again. The rubber banding in this game makes sure the CPUs are right on your tail and so annoying. It feels like the computers cheat. The rubber banding here is relentless, and you can speed ahead one moment and then suddenly get passed by a CPU who seemingly had a rocket engine installed. This game can be impossible to play sometimes. No wonder they offer this for the final test after anger management classes. Well, maybe the item balance is better. I'll give that one a shot. Super Mario Kart introduced items like bananas, shells, stars, but Mario Kart 64 refined them, making them easier to use and more chaotic than ever. The item system in this game is designed to keep races unpredictable, meaning if you're in first place, you're basically public enemy number 1. Blue shells made their debut here, and they are ruthless. If you were in first place, you felt the fear. Now, how is this compared to the original? It's a pretty good improvement. Still, despite all its quirks, Mario Kart Kart 64 is an absolute classic. The 4-player mode made it a party game staple.
Alright, so letter grade A. A huge leap forward that set the standard, but the computer players just need to chill.
No. What if Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64 had a baby on the Game Boy Advance? Mario Kart Super Circuit, I say that like it's past their curfew on prom night. This game has 20 tracks along with Super Mario Kart tracks, which this is technically the first game to feature the concept of retro courses, but I refuse to acknowledge this because this is different from this. So far it looks promising. It has courses from 2 games, it has all the characters, all good looking visuals.
This game kinda sucks.
Honestly, I've tried going back to see if there's anything that's gotten better with it. Maybe I just thought my memory was bad or something. And I've gotta say, my mind is a steel trap. This isn't the way it should have been done, but it's a start. The controls are fine, but the drifting is so stiff.
And so letter grade, whoa! I thought about going a bit lower, then I remembered this is the first handheld Mario Kart, so it gets a pass.
Mario Kart Double Dash. Hello, old friend. This is the experimental one, which I've had looked at this one in the past, and luckily, I still remember this one. This game has you taking control of not just 1, but 2 characters now, but they probably won't ever revisit this idea.
They don't make them like they used to.
This is the first fully 3D Mario Kart. Yeah, sure, Mario Kart 64 is the first 3D Mario Kart, but the console couldn't even show us 3D Luigi.
I've never been more disappointed.
But now we can see Luigi in all his glory. The tracks are fantastic, 16 new courses to race on. These pack so much variety, detail, and fun into each one of them. But you remember the special character-specific items from Super Mario Kart? No? Well, they're here now. Each character gets their own special item to use, and let me tell you, some of these are completely busted, which is a good thing, while others question why they're even locked to just 1 character. Mario and Luigi gets fireballs, fair enough. Peach and Daisy have hearts that steals other players' items, that's pretty cool. And then we have Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong, who just chuck a giant banana the size of a small truck onto the road. And then there's Waluigi and Wario, whose special attack is just literally a bomb. Meanwhile, Toad and Toadette get... yeah, it's fine, just an infinite boost for a few seconds. Not bad, but next to a bomb, kind of underwhelming. It still baffles me how the golden mushroom is now a character exclusive item though. But the main mechanic of the game is the 2 character carts. Switching back and forth between them lets you mix and match, opening the door for limitless possibilities with this setup. But this game is insanely fun, insanely chaotic, and best couch co-op Mario Kart ever. But we never got one like it. Everything about this was amazing. Nothing will ever come close to it. Well, maybe just this once.
So final grade, perfection. We had found a diamond in the rough.
The game that brought Mario Kart online, at least before Nintendo shut down the servers.
Whoa, this is the future!
It had a mission mode, introduced retro tracks, and let you snake your way to victory. And let's not forget about Rob. Mission mode, a single-player challenge mode. In Mario Kart, mission mode just being drift challenges, item tests, even boss fights against actual enemies. It was the perfect introduction to Mario Kart DS, which makes this even more questionable why they never even brought it back. It taught you how to use the controls, how to perfect tricks in the game, and do a bunch of different stuff. But along with mission mode came the introduction of retro courses, bringing back tracks from previous Mario Kart games with the modern game engine in mind. But this was the place for the pros. Snaking is now a thing. If you didn't master snaking, then you were done for. Everyone used this trick for a boost in speed. Of course, you know you got it when your thumb starts hurting. The roster was a bit small but solid. The track selection was fantastic, and the gameplay was so good, people still play it today.
So letter grade F! Something a toddler might scoff at now, but back then, that was amazing.
Everyone's starting point. Mario Kart Wii. Now I just have to figure out what it released on. This game wasn't just a racing game, it was a lifestyle. The moment you heard the iconic title screen music, you know things were about to get serious. I remember this game was everywhere. Even a moment in middle school, we had played this game in class, and it was just so fun. The introduction of bikes changed everything. If you weren't constantly wheelie boosting, then you were getting left in the dust. And if you weren't playing as Funky Kong, well, Mario Kart Wii features 32 tracks total, being split evenly between new courses and retro ones, and this game had improved everything upon what the DS had done right. But the one thing that changed everything was the Wii Wheel. Yep, every game had motion controls at the time, and they were definitely there. Did they work? Kinda. Did they make you accidentally throw your Wii remote across the room? No, this isn't Wii Sports, this is Mario Kart Wii. Get your head in the game.
So final grade perfection, the game that ruined relationships. I can roll with this.
Mario Kart 7, or just a 3DS Mario Kart as some of us may call it, the game that had brought gliding into the mix, underwater sections, and finally customizable carts, but no more Waluigi. Don't worry, because we have characters to make up for it. With a new shuffle of 32 courses with a good variety, great gameplay balance, and it's also giving the experience of Mario Kart Wii all on the go. This game deserves a chef's kiss.
This is art.
Still, for a handheld Mario Kart, this one went above and beyond if they only had remembered to pack Waluigi onto the cart.
Overall grade in between A and B. I was going to give it an A, but I remember there's no Waluigi, but overall still pretty good.
But all good things must come to an end. Did I forget to mention it was opposite day?
Do I really need to say more?
Mario Kart 8. This easily is one of the best out of the main series, just by the course selection alone. It took everything great about Mario Kart 7, strapped a jet engine to it, and decided gravity was optional. This game had redefined Mario Kart in a way that made all previous entries feel outdated immediately overnight. The visuals absolutely stunning, the track design the most ambitious we've ever seen, and the biggest game changer, the new addition of the anti-gravity sections. The moment you hit the blue strip, the rules change. Bumping into players wasn't just an inconvenience anymore, it became a boost. And suddenly races weren't just about cutting corners, they were about slamming into people for speed.
Are we sure this is still kart racing?
The character roster was impressive. Nearly everyone you can want is here. Villains, babies, Koopas, even Link decided to take a break from saving Hyrule to hit the track.
The new Zelda is looking very different this year.
And somehow no Diddy Kong in here. Nintendo, explain yourselves.
I mean, the best we could do is aluminum foil.
At least in Mario Kart 8. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they had released a DLC pack in 2023 that greatly expanded upon the course selection and character roster as well. I mean, which one would you rather pick, Mario Kart 8 or just Mario Kart DS? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe refined everything that became the definitive Mario Kart experience, and seeing as we're still playing this game a decade later, you better live up to the expectations of Mario Kart 9.
Final grade perfection. Don't ask.
Yeah, Mario Kart did have some arcade releases that were around. Now you're probably wondering, this guy doesn't play arcades? Joke's on you, I have proof, that's my picture. Mario Kart Arcade GP series is co-developed by Bandai Namco, and yeah, it shows. These games feel like Mario Kart, but something's just off. But the real game I played was the DX version from 2013. It was fun, it was goofy, it was definitely an arcade game. This one went crazy. They added gliding, underwater, co-op karts, and at least what I found online. I've only got to experience one track, so I can't really say too much, but it was still fun.
And final grade cool, but where's Funky Kong? It was okay, nothing to really blow your mind with. But of course, unless you really like the racing wheel setup, then that was awesome. Every Mario Kart, huh? It didn't really seem like it took very long. Oh, son of a...